Uh, Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I would teach you how to make a loading bar inside of Unity. So as you can see, I have two sprite images, or should I say textures, which I've made or created ahead of time. Just normal rectangular, or should I say rounded rectangular tool, a rounded rectangular texture rather, and then there is this same thing for this except with the loading text on it. So I've changed the texture type to a sprite and applied the settings. Yeah, and that's all you need for today's video if you will be following this tutorial. Now to begin making this right now, what we do is we go to the hierarchy, right click on it, select UI, select image. Okay, so we want to reset the transform for this image and duplicate this, so we have two different images on set. Now so what we do now is we scale it to fill the screen, or rather let me delete this image and do all the settings which need to be done for this one. So let's scale it, just fill the canvas. Before we go far, let's select this canvas and change it to scale with screen size. This way I'll get the maximum size for the image which I want to fill the screen. So this should be alright. Now let's duplicate this and then apply these images to them. So for the first one up top, we're going to put this background to it. So this would be it, and then I'm going to change this to, going to rename this to background image. And for the second one, I'm going to call this load image, and I'm going to drag this texture onto it, so it should look something like that. And then let's adjust this bit, so let's bring this up. Same thing for this, so let's adjust this also. And then we can go ahead and scale this. So let's select this scale tool and then scale this so it fills the edges, and let's adjust this a bit, and that should be okay. So now hit shift space, it's big enough, so that should be good enough for me. Let's see. Scale this down. Yeah, so this is good enough. Now we can go ahead and start coding. So let's create a C# script, and let's call this loading bar, and let's open this up in Visual Studio by double clicking it. So inside Visual Studio, I'm going to need two more namespaces. So I'm going to copy this using Unity Engine. I'm going to copy this, duplicate it, and then add UI to it, and paste this once more and add .scene management. So that should do it. Now I'm going to make three different variables. So the first one would be a float, and this float would be my progress, and the second one is going to be another float. This would be my maximum load, just to be precise, and that will be the progress. So finally I would have a public image and this would be my background. So let's call this BG. I think so this should be enough. So inside my start now, what I'll do is I'll set my progress to 0, and since I haven't given this a maximum yet, my maximum is going to be 100. So this would be the total number for loading the progress bar or the loading bar. Now with this progress done, I think next thing we would need to do would be to go into the update. Sorry about this. So let's go into the update now, and for this let's add our progress. So we're going to increment this. Our progress will be added by one value for every frame. Progress plus plus, and then what I will do is I'm going to set my fill amount for the background. So this will be my bg dot fill amount. This would be equal to my progress divided by the maximum load. And the reason why I'm doing this is because let's check Unity. So the reason why I'm doing this is because down here for my images, so for my load image, when this texture was applied, you can see that there is an image type, and the image type we're going to be using is going to be a field 1. So rather than radical 360, we'll set this to horizontal, and this would allow my bar to be to move from left to right. And you can see that the minimum is 0 and then the maximum is 1. So dividing this by the maximum amount here, the progress by the maximum amount, will give me the fill amount, which is going to be a float value in between 0 to 1. So that's the simple logic behind that. Now for this so far, now we'll check, after that we'll check to see if our progress, if this is greater than or equal to the maximum load. What I want to do is I want to set the progress to the maximum. So this should be okay, and then I want to call a coroutine. So I will say start coroutine, and this would be my open scene coroutine. So I haven't created that yet. We'll do that later on. So let's open scene, let me call it that, and then just below the update we'll create an I enumerator and an I enumerator. And the name would be open scene. And for this open scene now, I want to yield return new, wait 4 seconds, let's say 2F. So that should do it. And then I want to access my scene manager dot load scene. and my scene would be scene 1. So now this sums up the loading bar entirely. So when this game starts, I want to set my progress to 0. So it starts from 0, and then my update I want to increment this value so to make it go up each frame until it finishes loading. And then the fill amount would be the same exact value as the progress, and if this is equal to the maximum, which is 100, and we start this coroutine, which will load a new scene entirely for us. So that's just everything this code is trying to say. Now let's go back into Unity and set up our loading bar. And let's right click with this downloading. Let's right click in our hierarchy and create an empty object. So let's rename this. Let's call this our loading bar. Let's drag this up top. Let's reset the transform. And then let's drag this script onto it. And for this reference to our background, don't put the background image, select this load image rather. So let's drag this would be the image that would be moving. The background image would not be moving it anyway, so this would be the image that would be moving. Now with this done, the final thing we need to do is to create a new scene by right clicking in our assets or our project panel, and then go into create and select another scene. Let's call this 2, scene 2. And let's go into file, build settings, and let's drag these scenes into it. So the first would be my OK, and then the second would be my scene 2, which is 1 on the index, and we made a reference to it saying that it should load scene 1, so it's going to read that just fine. Now with this done, we can play our game and wait for results. You can see it's loading to when it gets to the final level, and we're in a new scene. So sorry about the delay. If you don't like the delay, you can remove this, wait for seconds, or put it beneath the scene manager.load scene. But I have a wait for 2 seconds before it loads. You can make it wait for as long as you want. That would not be a problem. So this is the end of today's tutorial. If you enjoyed it, make sure you leave a like for me. Comment down below if you enjoyed the video. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of my content. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I hope I see you in my next.